Hello, everyone. Woohoo!
Hello.
Hello,
Hi,
Kim.
everybody. How are
So
you, darling?
I am doing fabulous. How are you, my dear?
Very well. Doing good today.
So right off the bat, do you prefer Kim, Kimmy, or Kimberly?
Kim or Kimberly? I'm not a big Kimmy person.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Kimmy's not my favorite, but I'll answer to either Kim or Kimberly.
So now that we got that out of the way, give us all a real spot check on how Kim is doing.
I'm doing good. I'm hanging in there. We're dealing with some health issues, still kind of dealing with them, but luckily I've got medication stuff, so I'm starting to feel a little bit more like myself, a little bit more energy. But other than that, I'm hanging in there.
Good. Well, that is good to know. So I actually have a whole preparation of what we're going to go over and what we're going to talk about. But real quick, the most pressing question I could ever think to ask a photographer: Canon or Nikon, and why?
I use a Nikon. I don't know why. My dad got me my Nikon camera. The one I'm using now that's just takes the best pictures. Probably a couple years back. I just Nikon because it's probably the camera that I was given that I've been using. Other than that, if I had a Canon, I'd probably say the Canon. But I like the Nikon. I love my camera because it has like Bluetooth where I can download the pictures immediately to my phone. And I find that doing shoots and stuff, a lot of times people are, they're not sure how they're looking, and being able to show a photo right then and there that just took about how cool it is and how good they look, it loosens them up and relaxes them, and the shoot becomes more better because they're feeling, oh, that's how the picture's going to look like. So that's why I love my camera and Nikon, is because of that specific kind of, which I don't know anybody else photographers that has the thing where I can download pictures immediately. I mean, I could be at a show and take pictures, and they're downloaded post on Instagram before they're even off the stage. Like, how do you do that?
I didn't know that. That you just blew my mind. So we have people watching, and Crimson Owl Atomic says, "What's up?
What's up?
What's up? Thanks for being here." So I asked this question because a camera was the first creative thing I had. I was 9 years old when my grandpa gave me a camera, and taking pictures and photography was my first creative outlet long before I hit the stage or painted or anything.
Right.
And I worked in a portrait studio, and the camera the studio used was a Nikon. It was an actual portrait studio, and they only use Nikons throughout the entire nation.
Right.
And so, of course, when I went to buy my own personal camera to do my own personal freelance stuff, I picked a Nikon for mostly that reason. But the other one for me, and I think this might be different now, and you can correct me of what the state of affairs is now. But back then, this was, oh my God, this was 15, 16, oh God, it was a long time ago that I did that. The Nikon was the only body where the body wouldn't change, and they would not change the body, so you could use any Nikon lens that existed.
I think that's still true. I know that lenses are like, I bought my dad got me a nice lens, I think, for my birthday. I think I got a camera for Christmas, and I think for my birthday he got me a lens, and then I bought another lens. Lenses can be more expensive than the cameras itself.
Exactly, and that's why I went with the Nikon, was because Canon would, apparently I read all it took was 1 or 2 articles of hearing that Canon would change the body of their brand, like their newer camera models, which would force, similar to how gamers will change like the PS or the whatever box, and they can't play that bullshit. I'm like, no, I got no interest in that.
Right. Yeah, I have 3 lenses that that I think in total are like 2 times more than my camera itself. Eventually, lenses are like, you gotta save up for lenses, and I get like emails from like Nikon for like these lenses, and there's this one that was like $16,000. I was like, what else do I want for Christmas? Like
this lens better be like making me breakfast.
Like this long, and like probably used for like use out in the wilderness or whatever, or a documentary. But I'm like, that's my next lens I want to get.
I've seen the cost of some things, and I think to myself, like, this better come over and make me breakfast at 5 minutes.
My first camera that I mean, this is probably 20 plus years ago when the digital cameras first came out. I'm talking about the digital cameras that are like the kind of point shoot, not like the professional type cameras.
Right.
And my dad got me one of the first ones, but back then they had just come out. And it was like, if there was any kind of movement, it wouldn't take a picture. And I was trying to take a picture of my friend Paulette, who unfortunately was killed like 20 years ago, whenever she was a singer in this band, The Abuse. And I used to go to shows, I'd be trying to take a picture of her like on stage, like, pointing like click, 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 and it was like she's moving around. So I'd have all these blurry pictures of like, you know, of my friend Paulette. And then I was like, no, I want a professional like camera. I want one with the lenses. We have to figure out the settings and
Yes,
all that stuff. And so I had one, my first one that, I mean, it was a good camera back then that, you know, starting to like the aperture and all that stuff. And that's one thing that I have an eye for taking pictures, but the technical side of it, I have to really, that doesn't come natural to me.
Yeah.
The whole thing, but luckily my eye for taking pictures is kind of benefited me as I'm still learning constantly, and I'm always on YouTube. I'm always looking at just learning about aperture, you know, shutter speed, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's like, you know, the little point and shoot cameras back then, I thought, like, oh, they're like, back then they were expensive too. It was like, you know, and my friend Paulette is who kind of got me into photography, because she was, all my friends were in bands, and I'd be going to shows and I would just take pictures. And I think back then, I think me and MySpace had just started. So I've been posting pictures on, you know, on MySpace, and people liking them. And that's how it just kind of it started. I mean, I took photography in high school.
Kim, take a breath.
Yeah.
You're, sweet girl, you were going to talk. I was like, take a breath, my darling.
Oh, okay.
You're so cute. I love you so much. You know I love you and I adore you, but I had to give you a pause because you were literally like, I'm like, put away, Craig. Okay. Nothing. Please be. Okay.
I have 3 dogs, sorry.
No, that's okay. So we're gonna transition into Spitlights, and I'm just gonna ask some, like, let's get to know Kim questions. What food do you never eat? You will just never touch it, and why?
What food?
What food you will not eat it, and why? Is there anything?
I'm not a big seafood person.
Okay.
And I think Rubio's fish tacos is probably the only seafood I'll eat. I don't like the texture of seafood, like shrimp and stuff. I don't like the rubberiness and the texture. So probably that is probably seafood that I could live without.
Okay. If you could pick one spirit animal or a creature, what would it be?
Spirit animal. I like dogs. I like dogs. Spirit animal.
Okay. You don't have to have one. It's not any of your dogs.
Right now they're just, they're
getting in trouble. Okay. What's one thing you cannot go a day without? Every day you have to have it. What is it?
Insulin.
Oh. I did not know this. I mean, I know that you had health issues and concerns, but I did not know that the insulin. Okay.
I'm a type 1 diabetic. Yep. I take insulin at least 3 times a day.
Okay. See, this is good to know, because we do know each other in real life, and even though we may not hang out very much, this is good to know. I need, people that know you should know that. Yeah. What always makes you smile, no matter what the mood is or what's going on? What can bring that smile out of you?
My dogs. Yeah, they're being assholes. And my dad. I'm really close with my dad. Yeah.
Okay. Do you live with your dad, or do you guys?
Yeah. I'm back home with my dad. Yeah.
Okay. Now, next is, what is your go-to treat at the movies? It is the thing you must have to go to the movies when you go.
What is Raisinette?
Ooh, no one's given that answer before. That's cool.
I always get those when I go to the movies.
Now, have you had the dark chocolate Raisinets?
I've seen them, but no, I go for milk chocolate. But I'm
Oh,
not against it. I mean, I would try them, but no, I always seem to go for the milk chocolate ones.
yeah, I like them both. I do like them both. Raisinets is definitely one of the top like 4 or 5 I would choose if I were choosing. Our last spitlight is, what was your favorite toy as a child and why?
I love my, I remember I got a pound puppy, and I remember I knew it was a pound puppy because the way it was wrapped, I recognized the box.
Right?
And I was like a kid, I was so excited. I would like literally talk to it, be like, it's almost Christmas. I'm gonna be able to like open you up pretty soon. And I love that pound puppy. And I had it for forever, even as I got older. But I think my pound puppy was my favorite. I loved that thing when I was a kid.
Spike wants to know, do you have a special lens that steals souls? And if so, where do you store them?
Those are my eyes, the lens in my eyes that I steal souls with.
Your eyes are your lens soul stealing apparatus. I love that question. This is a good. That is a good question. Though, on a serious note, do you have a lens out of the ones you have that it's kind of your go-to and you're almost using it always?
Yes, it's my. I don't know why. Sometimes people think it's like a fisheye, but it's not. But it's because I photograph these like people on stage. I always find the lenses that came with my camera. I could never get the full stage shot. So I put my hand. It's just the. I can zoom in, but I don't lose the width or whatever. That's my favorite lens I like to use.
Okay.
It's a Nikon lens.
Were you finished with the favorite toy? The pound puppy?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm unfamiliar with pound puppies. Was there a particular one?
It was a stuffed animal puppy. It was basically like a.
No, I know what they are, but I'm not. Like, did they have names? Did they have colors?
I don't remember. They're not like, I don't remember like Couch Touch dolls. They came the name like the adoption thing.
Yeah,
I don't remember if they probably did, but I don't remember for sure if that's.
That's why I was
pound puppy, so I'm sure it's because like you adopt them. So I'm sure it came with something, but I don't remember off the bat. I just remember I just liked the dog. It was white and had like brown spots on it.
Yeah.
I don't remember what I named it either.
I was thinking of like the Care Bear stuff or the Rainbow Bright stuff where they had different names and different themes and stuff.
So now I did, but I don't remember. I don't remember that.
We're going to transition to the 3 questions I ask everyone. These are not unique. Spitlight, it's similar to Spitlights, only they dive a little more deeper. The first one is, if heaven did exist, or if heavens exist, what would you like to hear God say when you, Kim Miller, arrived at the pearly gates? What do you think or want God to say to you?
That's a good question. That I was always kind.
Ooh, that's a statement.
Okay. You got a question? Okay, ask me again. So you want me to ask you?
I could be wrong, but I think God would know if you had always been kind.
Okay.
This would be like, what would you like to hear God? Oh, no, never mind. You're absolutely right. You answered that question correct. I'm such an idiot. Let everyone know that Kim answered the question correctly. She would like God to say you were always kind. That's it. I'm sorry.
It's simple and it's not, but I just would like to be remembered, or that I was always kind to people.
I think I'm going to have to create a question now that says, what is the one question you would want to ask God? Because
why am I here?
That's what my head was thinking I was asking you. I wrote the question, but I apparently. What would you like to ask God?
Why am I here?
Why would you think you should have went to hell? Would you be surprised?
Why I don't want to be here right now? Not quite yet.
Right. We are literally rewriting the script here for these questions, Kim, because the next one is: would you be shocked if you actually went to heaven as opposed to hell?
I would, maybe. I guess people, you can always think of hell as being like, where you have more fun at, because but I want to go to heaven, when, if there is such a thing or whatever, because I don't like the heat. I don't like to be, I'm always hot. I don't want to be in a hot space, so that's probably why I'll choose heaven.
Heaven, or what is hell's not necessarily a bad idea, but I don't want to be that hot. Now,
Right.
I will personally say that if hell had that guy from the TV show Lucifer, like if he was really, truly, actually Lucifer, I would be fine with going in.
Right. Yeah. You'll acclimate to the.
I'm trying to remember his name. It's something Ennis or Tom Ellis or something. I can't remember. Okay.
I think you know who you're talking about.
If you could, speaking of hell, if you could damn one person to hell, who would it be and why?
Good question. I would damn. It's not really a person, but it's. I watched this documentary about like the sea, and it would be that place in Japan where they kill those dolphins once a year. I would damn that place for those people.
That practice or that behavior or whatever.
I hate those people. So that's what on top of my head. I don't know, but not really one specific person. I can't really think of anybody.
Now wrap your mind around creativity and photography. And I know you've done hair and makeup, and photography is not your only creative outlet. So put all that in perspective for this question. What is the one most taboo thing you would never use within your creative works?
That's a good question. I would never use those bleach caps that you pull through to do the highlights.
I love that answer. That's excellent.
Yeah, I would never use that. My creativity.
That's an awesome answer. Like I spent, I think I was 19, 20 years old or something. And I finished the part of beautician school where I got past the nails.
Oh, so you went to cosmetology school?
Ages ago.
Okay,
it was in El Cajon, and I don't even know if it's still there. It was through some job training.
California Hair Design Academy graduate right here.
Yeah, and we got to the hair part, and I kid you not, this is exactly why I quit. I said I'm not doing any career where I have to stand all day.
Well, yeah.
I'm like, I'm not there.
Yet.
I was a really lazy person back then.
The thing with cosmetology school is everything you learn in school is really not for the real world. They just basically teach you how to pass state board.
Mm-hmm.
So everything you learn is like the technical, like making sure there's, the cape's not touching the neck. So when you get your cosmetology license, it's like everything from school you learn is like, you really don't use it into the real world. I've never done finger waves or pin, like perms, outside into my career or whatever, but they just really just to teach you state board. The past state board, so it's but I love cosmetology. It was fun. I had fun, and I got my license. I don't do hair as much now.
Right.
Not that I don't want to, I do, but it's definitely when I first came to cosmetology school, I was like, yep, this is what I was meant to do this. So I definitely like the creativity and that you're not behind a desk or it's different. Different every day is different. You got your regular clients, and so. I definitely want to get back into doing more hair for sure. I got to get back into the salon here hopefully soon.
So we're gonna transition to the rapid fire portion of what we're doing. These are unique words that I come up with based on the guest, and I'm doing two things at once at the moment. So bear with me. For some reason, the video that I had downloaded that I'm gonna need for you is not here, which is so strange because I could have swore I downloaded it. So let me go here, click here. Your first word is shoot it.
Okay, and you want me to
just take that word and what does that bring forward in your brain? What is do you think of something? Do you have a story?
Yeah, take a picture. Shoot it, take a picture.
Take a picture, okay.
Yeah.
Do you say that a lot? Is shoot it?
I'll usually, let's do a shoot, snap some pics. I don't use it a lot, but when I look at that, I think of immediately taking a picture and I think of shoot it. I don't think about shooting somebody. I just think of like shoot it, take a picture.
Right. Open. Okay, so this is so crazy. I keep. Oh, duh! I'm such an idiot. I hit. You know, oh, you're gonna crack up. So this video, this so-called video that I'm looking for, that I keep thinking I'm not downloading it. I downloaded it twice now, and it's not even the right one. So your next word is magnolia.
I think of that Chip and Joanna Gaines TV show because they're Magnolia Network. I see commercials about Magnolia Network on the home channel, and it was that Fixer Upper TV show, and Magnolia was like their like company name. That's what I think of. It's very strange.
See, this is why I love this segment, because I like the things that a word will bring out about someone is pretty interesting to me. Magnolia, for me, I hear magnolia, of course, other than the flower, because I grew up in Louisiana. I always think of the movie. I think it's called Sweet Magnolia, or the one with the girl who's dying of cancer. And speaking of being a type 1 diabetic,
right?
Her character, Julia Roberts' character.
Yeah. It had Dolly Parton in it, and
yes. Dolly Parton's the hairstylist.
I know exactly what movie you're talking about, but
yeah.
That movie, that yeah.
I'm trying to think, is that Crosby Magnolia? So let me go to your next word real quick. The next word is crimson, which, you know, for some people is a color.
I guess for some reason, what comes into my mind is Crimson Tide. I don't know if that was a movie.
Mm-hmm, yep, it was. It's called Steel Magnolias.
Steel Magnolias. Okay, that's right.
Steel Magnolias. Okay.
Yeah, Crimson. That's what just pops my head is that Crimson Tide. I don't even know who's in it or what, but that's what comes to my mind.
Okay. The next word is braids.
Think of hair.
In your world of hairstyling during those days, did you do any braiding or braids? Or
I kind of learned, like, I went to because kind of when you go to cosmetology school, like the first day who you kind of sit with at a table is you kind of end up, that's kind of who you hang out with for your whole time there. And two of the girls that I worked with, this girl Regina and this other girl, her name was Claire, they taught me how to do the corn rolls, the braids. And I remember it's like a braid doing the opposite. I remember it was I did learn how to do some of the corn rolls that pack them on my doll head, and they did extensions of my hair and corn rolls. So I did learn a little bit, but right now, if someone was to ask me right now to do it, I wouldn't be able to do it.
Okay. So the next word, your final word, is tsunami.
I think of a big wave. Tsunami. Right. I think of that, or I just think of chaos.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. Tsunami, when I think of tsunamis, well, other than the actual tsunami, like the wave, there was a club. There used to be a club here in San Diego. Are you native San Diegan?
Born and raised, yep.
Okay. Did you ever go to a club called? No, it was downtown. It was underneath a piano bar.
No, I've only been to downtown, like as far as the nightlife, a handful of times. That's not my scene. So
okay.
I don't remember that place down there.
Yeah, tsunamis. It was an underground. It was underground downstairs, and it was fine. But then it got shut down because they wouldn't stop setting fire to drinks.
Oh, jeez.
Because they had these drinks they would make and these crazy things they would do, and they would swing from the ceiling. It was a fucking shit show.
Oh, really?
It was definitely a good time. Let me tell you, it was definitely a good time.
It sounds like it.
Okay, so now what we're gonna do? We're gonna move into where I've got a video queued, and I'm gonna just go through it, and I'm gonna ask you some questions. Let me try to add it, pause it. I think I almost have this to a science. to where yeah, here we go. This is perfect. And you can still hear me, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me about this picture. This is a band called And Ever, correct?
My friend, Lindsay, and the guy that's standing behind her, that's her husband.
Right.
This was taken, God, many years ago, and they wanted the water effect, and this is like a pool in their complex that I think that we did it in. This isn't the camera I use now, but yeah, it was my way of trying to make a pool not look like they were in a pool.
Well, and I have to tell you, well, clearly, I hope you know just how, recon crazy stalker like I am when I have a guest coming on my show, that I'm going to go through your pages and I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, that picture's probably like 8 or 9 years old, I think.
The other thing I loved about the caption on the internet, on Facebook, is you said in the caption, it says, hair and makeup, me. For photo, me. And I love that, because as you know, because you follow me, I'm not just one creative thing.
Right.
I'm multiple things. And I love that about your statement with this picture. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to highlight it, spotlight it, was that this picture wasn't just a photo. As a photographer, you did the hair, you did the makeup, the conception, everything about it. It encompasses for me why you're such an incredible talent, and I wanted to spotlight you.
Thank you.
So let me hit play, and then we're going to go to the next photo. Let me tell you, I can't get enough of your pictures, okay, of your pictures in general. And then I love, like, there's pictures out there that you've done that are just like, magazine-worthy perfection. And this for me is by and far my favorite Spice Pistols picture of all the Spice Pistols. There's tons of Spice Pistol pictures that you've taken that I've seen and I have found. I fucking adore this picture.
Me too.
So tell me about
their facial expressions. And it's funny, that's like at that train that's in there on the Spring Street in La Mesa.
Right.
And it's right next to, like, the main street in La Mesa. And I know that day so many people were like probably looking over like, what the hell is going on over there? Because they're in their full get-ups. And there's like stoplights, and people are probably like looking over like, oh my, like we were talked about that at so many dinner tables that night. People were like, you were like all today when I was driving home from work. It's like these men in drag on a train, La Mesa. It's one of my favorite pictures of them also. It was such a fun shoot with them, and I shot them at a couple of their live shows that were just the best. And yeah, that's my favorite picture of the Spice Pistols also myself too.
Are you kidding? I found the one, okay, because are you sure they're going to be okay with you saying this is your favorite? Because I'm just kidding.
No, that is my favorite. I love how it's just, their facial expressions, and like it's my favorite. And they're alongside the other one right close to the corner. They're like on the corner we're in Hillcrest, and they're like on the corner of the street right there, the Hillcrest sign. That's my other favorite one.
There's one recently, because Spike Mike, he knew you were coming on the show, and he sent me one of them in front of the Casbah, which is a great snap. It's a great picture, but it wasn't the one I wanted to use today for Spotlight. Yeah. Not to say that the other picture he shared with me that you took wasn't, because I love everything. I got no complaints. I love everything you do.
No, thank you. No, I love that picture.
Hit play, and we're going to look at this one. I found this today. This was not something I had seen before. I found this today. This is she's a rap artist.
No, she's a singer. She was my friend.
Well, she wrote a rap song. The reason I know that the reason I was asking if she was a rap artist is this picture was on her group page, her public group page, with the lyrics to a rap song.
Okay.
And and you took this picture because she had you tagged as the photographer, and I'm like, I fucking love this. I love everything about this picture. So tell me about this.
I met her. She's my friend Sammy Dixon. That's a family friend of his family. And we were at it was like a Thanksgiving thing at where his parents lived at, and I had taken some pictures, and she liked my photography. And she's like, I think that day I was like, well, let's go down, because where they lived at was kind of close to the water, obviously. And we did like an impromptu shoot or whatever. And that was just a picture I had taken that day. And I met her once. And since then I kind of lost contact with her. So it's funny, but that's how that picture came about. It was like an impromptu.
Yeah.
I didn't know she was a rap. I didn't know she rapped. I mean, I know she sang, but I didn't know she rapped. That's funny.
Yeah, well, she wrote a rap song. Whether she raps or not, I don't know.
Okay, rap song. Yeah, no, I didn't. I wasn't aware of it.
The lyrics, it was a rap song with lyrics, is what. And the only reason I know that it was because it was in a public forum and it was captioned that way. The next, of course.
It's my favorite.
You know, we can't talk about your work and the variations in the artists that you've worked with without at least having at least one of Black Hesher with them. And you know, I don't even know. Do you even know how many pictures of him you have that you've taken?
I mean, it seemed like, unfortunately, a couple months before he died, it was probably in that short amount of time we had done quite. I had taken a lot of pictures of him, for one, because we were doing the stuff at the Queen Bee's, the behind the scenes stuff. But I always wanted to shoot him and DJ Princess Ballerina because of just their dynamic together. Right. And he was supposed to bring some turntables that day to Queen Bee's, and we were gonna do some kind of shoot with like the turntable kind of, like a lifestyle kind of photo shoot. And he didn't bring them that day, but we got those shots, and those are some of my favorite pictures I've ever taken. I just love the whole vibe, the whole look of just everything about them. They're so cute together. They're just like, they're the chemistry between the two, like that just was just so awesome. Such a cool thing to watch and it's
sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you, but
I love these pictures.
And that dynamic, or that, like, I look at your pictures of people and I can feel the person. Like, I can feel that energy you're talking about. I can feel it. Yeah, and that's like not even a joke. Like, that's like for real. You know, that's real stuff. It doesn't really get much more real than that, actually.
And that's kind of my style of photography. Is a lot of times I'll kind of tell people, like, relax your shoulders, like relax. I like more candid shots. I like people on pose, and this was just their facial expressions, and that was just them being them. And it just happened to have a cool background, and the paint on the wall, and her, I had a bunch of those wings from, I don't know where, but I brought those that day for her to put on, and it just, it was just one of those simple pictures of them just being them, and it turned out to be just an incredibly beautiful picture.
Have you ever, I didn't prepare to ask this question, but have you ever had a photo shoot, and you don't have to say any names, but have you ever had a photo shoot that was just like atrocious, like just a shit show atrocious, where it just went bad? It went like just whatever.
Yeah, it's not necessarily because of like the people in general. It just was like just getting there to like the location, and just there's some people that I just remember shooting that just. They wouldn't. It wasn't like they just were so like uptight and so like out of their nerves or something. But like it made for where I kept saying like, relax, relax your shoulder, relax your. And it was I just was like kind of frustrated with myself because I just wasn't getting the shots that I wanted.
Right.
And yeah, it was a shit show. I don't think I ever posted them. Yeah, I don't think I ever posted them.
Okay. So I was curious because I've had, in terms of relating, I did do portrait studio photography, which is not the same as freelance in the field kind of stuff. There was no technicality to it in terms of the settings on the camera, because all of that was default, and you didn't touch the camera at
Right.
at the portrait studio. You just did not touch the fucking camera.
Right.
But what we did have to learn, and what we had to learn as photographers, was framing.
Right.
So Crimson Owl says, have to get going. Great video, beautiful shots, Kimberly, later.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for being here and stopping in. So the framing thing, like getting the right cropping, and it's one of the, and this is where I'm going with this, is kind of like, for me, I that is something I just can't stand. The one reason photography is, it may be fun and it's something I'll do, and I've been taking these kind of off bizarre shots of stuff, and I'm calling them the realm shots, and but to sit there and edit a photo in front of a computer with lighting and editing and that kind of thing, that kind of stuff makes me crazy. How do you handle, like,
How does it crazy? I don't edit. All my editing I do on my phone. I don't use a computer.
Okay.
A lot of people be like, it's crazy. A lot of editing, I don't do a lot of editing because I usually get the setting right. So as far as cropping and stuff, I maybe just a little bit, but I don't have to do a lot of that because the way I already took a picture. I like the angle.
I want to high five you right now.
Right. So as far as, I mean, it's not that I should use the computer and stuff, but I don't have to do that much editing. So the program that came with my camera is like an app that the photos go onto my phone. Yeah. And I just do basic editing on the kind of editing tool which is SnapBridge, is like the program or whatever.
Well, you pretty much answered the whole thing by saying I don't have to do a lot of editing, because you get the best photographers don't have to do a lot of editing, especially with cropping.
I agree.
That's something that you do at the time you take the picture. Okay.
And that's kind of how I feel like with a good haircut. If you have a good haircut, you don't have to use a lot of hair product or a lot of stuff or whatever. You don't have to do a lot of fixing. So yeah.
Robbie Stripling says, hi, Dory. And Robbie is one of my favorite people in all the world. I don't know if he's hailing from San Diego, but the last time I checked, he wasn't even in the U.S. So tell us where you're saying hi from, Robbie.
Hi, Robbie.
So I'm gonna transition us over to a few questions that I'm gonna throw on here, because I'm gonna cue another video and go through it with you. But what's your greatest turn on? The greatest thing turn on, and what's your biggest turn off?
A sense of humor is I just always turn on. Biggest turn off is
definitely agree with senses of humor.
Biggest turn off is people that don't say please or thank you, that don't have the basic manners.
Okay.
Really, it's like a turn off that, like, don't say thank you. People that don't say, like, bring you food and you don't say thank you to them. I don't. That just really bugs me.
Yeah. What's your favorite cuss word? What's your least favorite cuss word?
I love all cuss words.
I love all cuss words, right? Like, why would I need to limit?
I don't have a least favorite.
I don't want to limit myself.
I mean, every kind of word, fucker, motherfucker, is my favorite.
Okay. So I've had this muted. Let me hit add and pause, because I don't want it to go too far. So this is the intro video that I did for today's show, and even though it's the intro video, there's some people in here, and I know I didn't even come close to putting everyone in the same video that you've done pictures of. So I'm going to try my best. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to pause on each one. Of course, this is you, gorgeous you. Is that a selfie, or did someone else?
Yeah, it's a selfie. Yeah.
Even taking her own pictures as fabulous. This one we've already talked about.
Say it again.
Oh, that picture was about Endeavor. Okay, so where is this? I love it.
It's this graffiti tunnel, and it's off of Mission. I don't know off the top of my head, but it's done a few shoots there. It's they call it the off the top of my head. I'll have to give you the info later, but it's this it's underneath like this freeway, and it's a really cool
here's why I wanted to there's a lot of reasons I wanted to ask you about this photo in that area and where it was. But one of my dreams, one of my bucket list dreams, is to paint a mural on a wall like this.
Oh.
You know, in graffiti style, Dory, whatever.
Have you heard of Graffiti Alley? That's on Oklahoma Boulevard. This guy owns.
I'm not there yet, and I know, like, I couldn't even fathom how, like, I'll probably do. This is why I brought it up with you. I'll do exactly what I always do. I find people that know. I found you. I know you can tell me where this is. I know you could probably even tell me and hook me up with someone who would give me the guidance as a teacher to teach me how to paint something that fucking big on a wall. Okay. All right. I restarted the video. Sorry, sweetheart. We'll just skip that. Let's go. I'm like, okay, so we got graffiti wall. Of course, this is another one of you. I love this.
3Q Studio in Oklahoma. I was doing a shoot of some of my stripper friends, and she took that picture of me there at the studio.
Is she another photographer?
No, she was kind of like who I was shooting that day, and we just that was actually a shoot that I was doing with Van with models that we Bree, my friend Bree.
I recognized her in another picture I have. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I brought those models for the shoot that we did with Van. This was a shoot I just did recently. These guys are Sons on Fire. The singer is my friend Ria's husband. They're like a top Billboard artist right now. They're about ready to go on tour. We did that at EQ Studios.
Nice.
Maybe like a month ago.
Okay.
I love that studio. It's another one.
Different band, right?
Yeah. No, it's the same band. No, it's the same band.
Okay. I don't know why that maybe.
Yeah, that's right there. That each usually have like a natural light studio, and that's that natural light room that I love. And now, of course, Paige. She's so freaking talented.
Right. Well, and not only that, I wanted to add a few of these in here, and I know this is not the only one. I'm pretty sure, but you were at the memorial.
Yeah.
A bereaved friend, like all of us, and just like everyone else in some way that was there, like Scott and Sarah, you're working. You're at a friend's memorial and you're doing what you do, and I'm going to come to tears when I think about how beautiful what you do is, and what Scott does, and what everyone in our, so many of us do. You're taking pictures.
It's to me. I was just capturing moments, and it's not work to me. That's one thing I like about when I take pictures is I try to just capture moments that are of people's happiest times. Unfortunately, this was like a sad time, but you can go look at this picture 5 years from now and just remember that day, sad and beautiful, because beautiful how many people came out and how many people were there. But how sad it was because of why we were there.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel like work. I just love taking pictures, and I was in her element doing what she was born to do with her creative talent that she has. And another one. This is just another like kind of emotional, just them doing what they do, but just yeah,
I think I put them in the same grouping. There, I love this shot. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, so much emotion in that picture.
It's one of those things where in surfing or boogie boarding, there's a sweet spot in a wave. And when you get it, man, like, because you can ride a wave, but there's a couple of times where you get the sweet spot on a wave. And that ride is unlike any other ride.
Right.
Okay. And that same metaphor I just used for you or for anyone listening could be used about sex. It could be used about food. It could be used about relationships, love, jobs. That's what this picture for me represents.
Right.
The sweet spot.
It's a proud picture that I've taken that I'm proud of. Not just because I feel like you can feel that picture.
And this is Michael Fairchild and Katie LeDubs, correct?
Yes.
Let's confirm.
I know Five
Yeah.
Pistols and San Diego All Stars, and then of course Katie.
Yes. Rap goddess of the
Yeah, she's just a she bitch. I love her.
Okay, I love all your pictures, but I just fucking died. I'm like, yay! I love it. Tell us that this is for those watching. This is a picture of Bloodstone, the street preacher,
Yes.
otherwise known as Eric Lamont. Fortress Lamont is his full name. So tell me about this picture. Was that planned? Just in a moment.
I don't know if it was planned, but it's a spot that I've done a few shoots at. That's kind of got.
I'm talking about his pose. His pose.
No, that was just me. That was just him. Kind of just. I take a lot of pictures, so I encourage people to keep moving around. And it was just a shot that I was just snapping pictures and just snapped this one. That he just was kind of. It wasn't planned, but it wasn't unplanned. You know what I mean? It was him just sitting there, and he was just moving around and kind of moving his pose and stuff. And I just got to snap that one.
It's one of those, again, it's one of those sweet spot pictures, and it's one of those moments where I can feel.
Right.
I can feel the moment. The moment gives me this emotional response in a way that, art. And okay, I fucking love this. I haven't gotten to go to the wrestling thing yet, but this is at a wrestling.
Dirty Ron and his wife, Lucia. They are so fun. They have a place now, OB Buckhouse, FUCD Buckhouse in OB, and they do wrestling events. His character is Dirty Ron, and his wife, Lucia. They just started kind of working together, but they're a blast. His shows, they have them like every week. Fist combat, wrestling and fist combat, but yeah, they're a blast. I just love that shot of them because that's just them. It just kind of, when you see them, they're just animated and always side by side. And
some of the best shots are those ones that are not posed. They're not.
Those are my favorite shots. I love the candid ones where people don't. That's what also people are. Their most natural self when they don't know this is Odie ODM Productions. He does like videography. We've worked together a handful of times. He's a great guy, and we work together really well. And yeah, definitely follow him, ODM Productions, if we're videography. He's a great guy and a good friend.
Okay. And let's see. I love this expression. Of course, I love this. This was another one, I think, from a Vans Memorial.
Yep.
Do you remember what song he was doing here? Was this what Bath Water Baby song, or was this? I don't think it was Fireflies. He's like
no, this is Fireflies. I don't. That's a good question. I don't. I remember it was Katie, Michael, and I think Jason. I don't remember what song they were doing at the time. I think it was right before the Fireflies, before everyone did Fireflies.
Okay. And this is another one of those questions. I was like, were you shocked that you caught this when you caught this expression?
No, actually, no. I got I thought it was planned or whatever, but I just kind of know him and him like how he is on stage, and the whole way he's standing and stuff. It just kind of And I think I just was lucky and kind of got that facial expression at the same time.
Anticipation. I love that. Your anticipation of him probably got you in the right spot to take the shot. Yeah, I love that. I dig that. Okay, of course. I think is this the same shoot of the picture from earlier with the girl?
Yeah, the girl taking a picture of me, taking a picture of the girl. Yeah.
And of course, you're in this shot, so I had to include.
Yeah, that was Van with his camera.
I was going to say, is he holding the camera?
Yeah, he took it with his phone. Yeah.
Okay, because I was like, perfect. So the photographer is at the shoot, and the artist she's shooting took a picture with his camera.
Yeah, it's kind of like the behind the scenes of like,
Spike says that Bloodstone shot looks like a Barry Levine kiss shot.
Thank you.
Right? That was
Thank you.
So this so that I love that. Some of your work, and I don't know if you know her, like her, or if you'll even find it complimentary, but there's things I've seen of yours that remind me of Annie Leibovitz. I'm
aware who she is. I think that was a compliment.
Yeah,
I think there's a lot of black and white photography, I think.
She's been around for photography. She's been a photographer for a long time. But I've loved that your artist is like, okay, let me take a selfie of us. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, it's kind of like, this is, like photo shoot complete or whatever. I can't remember exactly what his comment was, but it was like,
Yeah. And this is another one of Bloodstone that I dig. I dig this photo.
Yeah, that graffiti pen was awesome.
And again,
he's fun. He's got such a strong, like, I don't know the right word, such a strong, like, features, like and he just takes very intense photos, or allows me to take with these intense, and with that graffiti just was really made for. It's like an album cover to me. I feel like that's like should be on an album.
Yeah, Eric is one of those people that has a very solid presentation of form, behavior, body, speech, and it's authentic. Right. It's authentic. Yeah. And as you know, he's going to be one of the gentlemen I'm spotlighting in next month, and I can't even tell you how excited I am that he's going to be on the show. But because so many people out there, and I don't want to offend anyone, but so many people out there, the minute you start talking to them, you can sense the fake.
Right.
Not with Mr. Lamont. Not at all.
And we did 2 different locations that day, and he was great to work with because he knew what he wanted, and he also allowed me to kind of, do what I wanted. But yeah, he was great to work with. He was, that's me. That's where I first met him. Was when Van interviewed him.
Yeah, I listened to that podcast. It's really good. It's really Van was a really great interviewer. He had great ways of asking a question and getting some things out of his guests by because he is such a personable person.
Right.
That right amount of playfulness with also having that seriousness that needs to come with taking, interviewing someone and taking, getting some information from them. And of course, this is that same shoot with those 2 skinny girls.
That was the first shoot I ever did with Van. That was probably about, 7 years ago. It was the first shoot I ever did with him. I knew Bree. I met the other girl the first day. But yeah, that was the first shoot that I ever did with Van.
Okay.
Like I said, 5 or 6 years ago.
It's crazy. We already talked about the Spice Pistols pictures, but it's in this video because
it's so fun.
So there's some in here that are going to repeat. I'm just going to skip past them.
Yeah.
I think we might be close to the end, or we might be at the end. Oh yeah, we are at the end. So of course, then there's your picture.
That was the same that graffiti channel that you're asking me about. That off the top of my head, can't remember that. That was a shoot that I did with Sammy Sloat Dixon. There, and I asked him if he would take a picture of me with the camera, and he just took it with his phone, I think, at the time, and it turned out to be a really cool shot. It's on my business card.
Yeah.
And yeah, one of my favorite pictures of me, the camera.
Well, woman, you are just, I'm in awe, of course, and it was so funny, and I don't think you'd mind me telling our watchers and viewers out there. So the other day, I get this message from Kim, and it says, "Hey, I want to shoot you." And I'm like,
I know.
About to take pictures, or are you gonna come shoot me? What are you doing? Are you gonna use a 22? Are you gonna have a?
I know. As soon as I said that, I was like, I gotta push to get my. Yeah, I'm like, not.
I want to shoot you. I'm like, okay, so I'm just like it. It doesn't cease to amaze me the way the universe works. I had no idea that those pictures I picked, the ones particularly of Van, were your first shoot that you did with him. I didn't know that. I did not know this information. I did not have that information before today. And to the day that you sent me that message, I'm probably about 3/4 of the way done with this book I'm working on, and I had considered all kinds of ideas for the cover of the book, and I finally had decided that the cover was going to need to be probably me, unfortunately. I say unfortunately because it makes no sense to do a book for my readers and tell my readers that it's a book about not being fake, and that it's about being real and about being who I really am, or who a woman. It's actually a book written for women or men to be themselves,
Right.
unapologetically themselves. Okay. So Kim sends me this message that day, and I had already made this kind of sort of pseudo thing in my head about the cover needing to be me, and had thought about that for a while. So Kim's going to shoot me. And I sent her the sketch of what I have in mind. And for anyone watching, if you are even remotely close to being a fan of Kim and I, it's going to be epic. Let me just say.
Guaranteed. Not a doubt in my mind it's not going to be epic.
Well, when
I mean, I got your vision, and I'm like envisioning and just, yeah, it's going to be epic.
When I can't speak for you, but when I showed you, and I speaking of my vision, I want you to hear me when I say I don't trust anybody with my art. I don't trust anybody with my work. I don't collaborate. I just don't. I never have. But when I think about someone taking this picture, this conception picture, the sketch I sent you, when I think about that, I know I'm in good hands with you.
That makes me happy. I'm glad. I'm glad. I liked your opinion. That makes me happy. That's
I really want, yeah, because we don't need to go into detail, but you've already held my heart in your hands and nursed me off of a ledge.
Oh, thank you.
With your love. So we both know that. And so I'm super excited. So now I get to tell you that you are officially out of the spotlight.
Okay.
And you, Miss Camera Lady, who knows how to shoot people, you get to shine your spotlight back this way, and you get the pleasure and honor, like every guest that comes on my show, and asking me one question of your choosing, and choose your question wisely, because I will answer you, and I can't be blackmailed. So I if there's really something really something you want to know, now is the time to ask.
That's a good on spot. I don't even have a question. It's more of like a statement that I just.
Oh, you're more than welcome.
Are you happy with everything? Are you healing?
I haven't been happy since the day that I lost the apartment that I had with my kids 6 years ago.
Okay.
The day that my children stopped living under the same roof as me, I stopped being happy. I'm content, and ironically, the definition of the word content in the dictionary is a state of happiness. So I guess to some degree, you can consider that happiness. I know that this question, it's a good one. It's a really good question. And the most honest answer is that no. Now, of course, my kids are at an age where my oldest is going off to college. My youngest is going to be a junior in high school. And whether, they live under the same roof or not, their love for me as their mom has never changed. Geographics may have changed. They have the best dad on the face of the planet.
Okay.
They really do. My kids weren't in need for nothing, and they were primarily with me for a really long time, long before that day happened, where I stopped being able to have my own place. I've had to move 9 times since then.
Wow.
Yeah. But I where I live now is where I've lived the longest, and I get to do what I do, and what makes me happy and what keeps me choosing life, or what keeps me at least on that side of this side of the dirt, are people like you. And I hope Spike is still there watching, because I wouldn't have met you, I wouldn't have met Van, I wouldn't have met any of you if it hadn't been for coming up with doing this show last year. And this is truly one of those many things I do creatively that keeps my head above water.
Good. Okay. I mean, that's whether with Van is because of Van. I met you. There's so many people that I wouldn't have known because of him, and I'm, you know, I want you to be happy, and I hope. I appreciate your art. I love your art. I love how you're always.
Spike
I
said,
wish I had the confidence or whatever to do what you do and do these, you know, blogs or me of just taking pictures. But I appreciate you, and I appreciate your creativity and doing this and making me feel like a rock star for an hour.
oh well, but, I get to be here to tell people who they are.
Right.
Not what they can.
I adore you, and I can't watch you, and
because you are a rock star, and it's so funny. I'm going to tell you this.
When I sing in the shower, I am a rock star. Other than that, I don't.
You are, and I'm going to tell you the story because Van wants me to tell you the story. So Van Bates, Black Hesher Van Bates. Okay, if you're watching, or whoever watches this later, he was definitely a person. Like if you met him even just once, you're like, whoa. Right. Yeah. Like I remember when I was looking up stuff before I ever even called him to talk to him about being on my show, I was like, holy hell, whoa. Like, whoa. Right. Right? And mind you, I had no idea. I had no idea how much he had followed me. Particularly my stand-up comedy. I had zero idea really until I met him in person. And Van Bates walks up to me and says to me, "Oh my God, I can't believe I'm meeting the Amazon Beauty." And I'm like, "But you're the Black Hesher."
And I remember getting this message from him when he did their first show after COVID at the Queen Bees. I think it was to raise money for mental awareness, and I hadn't seen him or talked for a while, and I took some pictures. I hadn't seen him, and he's like, message like, "Wow, you have really honed your skills as a photographer." He's like, I can't believe like how much you've grown. He's like, props to you. And it was like such a compliment that he'd seen my growth, you know, and that's how we kind of started working together from those photos I had taken from that show that I had sent him.
It became a running kind of joke during our friendship, the Black Hesher and Amazon Beauty thing. And then like why I brought it up and why I mention it as we head out of here is it reminds me, no matter who I am or no matter what I've done or creativity wise, I never want to be so big ever as a creative person or as a public figure. I never want to be so big that I don't give back props to people who deserve it, the way that Van was willing to, the way that he's standing in front of me talking about how funny I am and all blah blah, and I'm looking at him thinking, you know, because I'm like sitting there going, who's he even talking about? And he's
right.
You know? And I want to do that. I want to be like that for other people, the way that he was for us, the way that you are for me, the way you've been for me since the day I met you, the way that I hope I am back to you, you know. So with that, you know, that's pretty much done. So I'm going to excuse you, and you're more than welcome to sit in the green room until I'm done and offline, or you can sign off. But I'm going to, I always do at the end of the show, I always do spotlights of who else is out there, got stuff going on. And you're more than welcome to sit here with me while I do that and go through them, or you can, you know, say bye-bye. See you later.
Okay. I'm going to say bye-bye because I let my dogs out. But this was an amazing experience. I'm so honored that you spotlighted me, and I hope that I look forward to our shoot together. And for everyone, you're not ready for the photos I'm going to get taken with.
Oh yeah, I must say I'm going to have to put on some serious thick skin, strong confidence for those pictures you're going to take of me.
Yeah, no, believe me, I'll get it out of here.
Spike says, bye-bye, great show. And yeah,
Bye.
I'm super looking forward to it. And I thank you so much and love you much. And I'm going to get on with the other spotlights. And
Okay. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you.
bye, sweetie. Okay, so let me add this video to the stream and hit pause before it goes too far. So this is the portion of my show where I get to spotlight some other creators out there that are doing the thing and doing the thing. They're doing the thing or the deal, or they've got something going on. The first spotlight that I have on my screen is Deuce Bug, aka Kenny Mercer. Let me make sure I'm going to put a bunch of links in comments for the people that I'm spotlighting as well. These probably won't share well to Twitter, but they will share well just fine to the Facebook and YouTube channels. And so in comments, you should see all the links of the people I'm going to talk about. And so the first one is Kenny Mercer, Deuce Bug, Full Blast Movement. It's, this kid, he's got a video, not a video, excuse me. Well, he's got a video. He's got tons of videos. But at the link tree, you can find links for the Bandcamp. You can find links for everything else you could for him. He just had an album drop called Melting Pot. It's out now. So that is my first spotlight. The next one is going to be Mr. Scott Sandonato. And if I said that wrong or pronounced it wrong, he will need to just forgive me. I apologize. With Sando Films Productions, he did most of the work with all of the recaps for Black Hesher, our dearly departed Van Bates, and the hardest working videographer I've ever met in my entire life. And the love this man puts into his videos and his work he does is just, it really can't put to words. So those are the first two. And then we're going to, our third spotlight is Miss Punker Princess Lisa Monday Gomez. I had to add her into one of my trio spotlights because I spend most of my Saturday mornings with her when she's not at a show or she's not catching one of her shows that where she's promoting people, and she could articulate for you way better than what I can. One of the links in the comments that I put is the email for we68radio@gmail.com is the email you would use to send music for airplay on whatever 68 radio. So if you are a musician out there or interested in getting your music out there, definitely send them an email. So that is it for our trio spotlight of the week, and I want to thank you for being here. Thank you for having stopped in and saying hi. If you watch this later, please give all of our creators out there a shout out and a follow. And with that, I get to I'm going to play Kim's video one more time as we exit out of here. Mwah!